You've been told to do more, give more, be more. For her, you were taught that if you provide, if you protect, if you sacrifice, then love will follow. That your worth as a man is measured by how much you do for a woman. But let me ask you something that will shake you to your core. What if none of that is what she truly desires? What if, despite everything you've done, all the favors, all the gifts, all the efforts, she still seems distant, unsatisfied, uninterested? Does that make her ungrateful? No. It means you misunderstood the game, and it's time to wake up. Because women don't care about what you do for them in the way you think they do. They care about how what you do makes them feel. They care about how present you are. They care about how connected they feel to you. And according to Esther Perel, renowned psychotherapist and relationship expert, they only truly crave 7 things from you. Not your money, not your car, not your ability to kill yourself trying to make them happy, but 7 deeply human, emotional, spiritual things. If you don't understand this, you'll stay stuck, angry, bitter, exhausted. But if you do, you'll unlock something rare and magnetic, genuine connection. So let's break this illusion wide open. First, she wants presence. Not your body in the room while your mind is elsewhere. Not your half-listening nods while you check your phone. She wants to feel that when she speaks, you are with her. Not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Do you know how rare that is today? Do you realize how little people listen anymore? You want to win her heart. Learn to listen like her words matter more than your own. That's the kind of presence that makes her feel seen. Second, she wants emotional safety. Not perfection. Not dominance, but a space where she can be vulnerable without fear. Where her flaws don't scare you. Where her messy thoughts aren't judged. Where her emotions don't make you defensive. Most men don't know how to create that space because they were never given one themselves. But if you want to lead with strength, you must make her feel safe. Not by controlling her, but by understanding her. Third, she wants consistency. Not grand romantic gestures once every 3 months. Not apologies after breaking her trust for the 5th time. Not promises made under the influence of guilt. She wants the kind of consistency that makes her trust that your words mean something. That when you show up every time, not just when it's convenient. That when you say, I'm here, she doesn't have to look over her shoulder to check. Fourth, she wants to be chosen. Every day. Not just when you're bored. Not just when no one else texts you back. Not just when she looks good in a dress. But when she's tired, frustrated, unfiltered. She wants to feel like your love isn't based on utility. That she doesn't have to perform to keep your attention. Women want to be pursued beyond the honeymoon phase. Are you capable of choosing the same woman, even when the novelty wears off? Fifth, she wants deep emotional intimacy. Not just sex, not just moments of pleasure, but soul-level connection. Can you share your fears without turning them into jokes? Can you admit your mistakes without blaming someone else? Can you reveal the parts of yourself you're ashamed of and still stand tall? If you can't go deep, she'll find the space hollow, and she'll emotionally check out before she physically walks away. Sixth, she wants adventure. And I'm not talking about vacations or expensive dates. I'm talking about the adventure of being with someone who is growing, who is alive, who has curiosity in his soul and fire in his eyes. She wants the thrill of discovering new parts of you, because you're not static, you're not stuck, you're evolving. And when you're growing, you invite her into a relationship that's exciting, dynamic, and alive. If you stop evolving, you stop being interesting. Seventh, and maybe most importantly, she wants authenticity, the real you, not the one you think she wants, not the one society told you to be, not the version of you buried under layers of armor. She wants to see the truth of you, even if it's flawed, even if it's scary, even if it's uncomfortable, because only then can she truly connect. Don't confuse performance for strength. True strength is showing up as yourself, even when it's hard. Now here's the truth most men never hear. Doing more for her won't matter if you're not being more with her. You've been conditioned to believe that love is a transaction. Give her things, get her loyalty. But real connection is not a deal, it's a dance. And if you're not attuned to the rhythm of her needs, if you're just throwing gifts into a void, you'll always feel like you're not enough. You'll grow resentful. And one day, you'll walk away or she will, both of you wondering what went wrong. But it's not too late. It starts with self-awareness. Ask yourself, am I present? Am I consistent? Do I make her feel emotionally safe? Do I share who I really am? Do I still grow? Do I still choose her? And am I authentic or am I just performing? These questions aren't easy, but they are necessary, because until you answer them honestly, you'll be chasing women who never truly feel yours. And listen, this isn't about changing who you are to win someone's love. It's about becoming who you truly are, so the right love can recognize you. Esther Perel didn't say women want you to bend over backward. She said they want truth, presence, emotional depth. And if you can give that, not just to a woman, but to yourself, you'll stop chasing love and start attracting it. So stop trying to earn love with effort and start cultivating it with essence. Do less for her and be more with her. That's not weakness. That's mastery. That's power. And that is what women truly want. Let's expand the first keynote: presence. Presence isn't just being there physically. It's the energy you bring into the room. It's the difference between being next to someone and truly with them. Presence means your mind, your heart, your attention, all of you is tuned in here now. And yet in a world full of distractions, presence has become one of the rarest currencies. Most people live scattered lives, pulled in every direction by their phones, their responsibilities, their ambitions, their insecurities. We are so used to multitasking that single tasking feels foreign. And so, when a woman meets a man who is truly present, it's unforgettable, it's powerful, it's healing, because that kind of attention is oxygen to the soul. When you're with her, are you actually with her? Or are you thinking about work, money, social media, your next move? When she speaks, do you really hear her? Or are you just waiting for your turn to talk? Do you pause to look into her eyes and sense what's beneath the surface? Or are you too busy planning your reply? She can feel it. Women are emotionally intuitive. Presence isn't something you can fake. It's something you embody. When you're not present, it doesn't matter how expensive the dinner is, how beautiful the vacation is, or how grand your gestures are. She will feel alone, unseen, unmet, because presence is what makes her feel like she matters. Presence is not about perfection. It's about availability, emotional availability, mental availability, physical awareness. And it's not just about her. It's also about you. You can't give presence if you've never given it to yourself. If your mind is constantly at war, if your heart is full of noise, if your body is disconnected from your spirit, then when you show up, you're only half there. Women don't just want you to show up, they want you to arrive fully. They want the full weight of your presence, because that presence is what makes them feel safe, special and seen. Without presence, everything else feels shallow. Let's get even deeper. Presence is not passive. It's not just sitting there quietly. It's an active force. It's you saying with your eyes, with your energy, with your silence, I'm here. I see you. I'm not running. I'm not distracted. I'm grounded. I'm open. Think about that. When was the last time you gave someone the gift of your undivided attention? When was the last time you weren't thinking 5 steps ahead, scrolling aimlessly, zoning out under pressure? In today's world, presence is rebellion. It is rare, radical, and deeply magnetic. You might think presence means weakness, that if you slow down, if you stop doing so much, you'll lose your edge. But the opposite is true. Presence is power. It is control over your internal world. It is the strength to focus, to listen, to feel, to connect. A man who can sit with a woman, not trying to fix her, not trying to impress her, not trying to dominate her, but simply be with her, is a man who has learned to lead from within. And women sense that. Presence doesn't just attract them, it disarms them, it melts their defenses, because it signals, you are safe here, you are welcome, you matter. Imagine this. She's had a rough day. Her emotions are all over the place. She doesn't want a solution. She doesn't need a hero. She wants to feel like someone is there with her, not against her emotions, not afraid of them, just with her. Most men try to shut it down. Relax, you're overthinking. You're being dramatic. Don't worry about it. They're uncomfortable, so they dismiss. But a present man sits there and listens. He nods. He breathes deeply. He reaches out and holds her hand, not to fix, but to ground. He doesn't run from the storm. He becomes the calm inside of it, and in that moment he becomes unforgettable. But presence goes beyond listening. It's how you look at her. It's how you touch her. It's how you respond to her energy. Are you able to sense when she's holding something in, even when she says she's fine? Are you attuned to the moment she needs space, or when she actually wants you to lean in? Presence is what allows you to feel the unsaid, to respond to what's real instead of just reacting to the surface. It is a deeper intelligence. A masculine wisdom that doesn't come from books or advice. It comes from attention. You can build presence. You're not born with it. It starts by slowing down, by noticing your thoughts, by practicing stillness. Meditation helps, so does nature, breath work, time away from constant stimulation. But the biggest tool, curiosity. Be genuinely curious about her. Not to impress her, not to win her, but to understand her. What excites her, what scares her, what makes her feel most alive. Presence is fueled by curiosity. And curiosity is fueled by care. You can also practice presence in the little moments. When you're with her, put your phone away. Look into her eyes, not just at her body. Pause before you respond. Ask follow-up questions that show you are truly listening. Don't rush. Don't zone out. Don't fake it. Presence can't be faked. You either are there or you're not. And if you're not, if your mind is elsewhere, she'll feel it instantly. She may not say anything. She may not even fully know why she feels off, but she'll feel disconnected. And that disconnection creates distance. That distance over time becomes emotional abandonment. You might be doing everything else right. Providing, supporting, planning, working. But if she doesn't feel your presence, she'll eventually feel alone, even in the same room as you. And when that happens, resentment builds, silence grows, and love fades. Not because you didn't love her, but because you didn't see her. Because your love was transactional, not connected. Because you gave her everything except yourself. Let's flip it. Imagine you being truly seen. Not judged, not misunderstood, but fully met. Someone looking at you and saying, I see you. I hear you. You don't need to prove anything. I'm here. That's what women crave too. And it starts with you giving that to her. Presence is the seed of all intimacy. Emotional, physical, spiritual. When a woman feels your presence, she doesn't need constant reassurance. She doesn't need to test you. She doesn't need to fight for your attention. Because she feels anchored by you, grounded by you. And that's where trust grows. That's where passion stays alive. That's where love becomes deep and lasting. But you can't give presence unless you've made peace with yourself. That's the hard truth. Presence requires a man to be centered, not reactive, not ego-driven, not obsessed with control, but steady, rooted, awake. And that takes inner work. You have to face your own demons, your insecurities, your shame, your fear of intimacy, your need to be enough. When you clean that up, when you heal those parts, presence becomes natural. It flows from you. It is you. You no longer have to try to impress. You just show up. And your energy says everything your words don't have to. So remember this, she doesn't just want your time. She wants you. She wants to feel like she's not talking to a ghost. She wants to know that when she reaches out to you, you're already reaching back. Not with your hands, but with your soul. And that kind of presence is unforgettable. That kind of presence is rare. That kind of presence is what makes her say, he gets me. He's different. I feel safe here. I feel seen here. So slow down, breathe, look into her eyes, ask real questions. Listen with your heart, touch with intention, speak with clarity, be here, fully. That's what she really wants. And deep down, that's what you want too, to be the man who doesn't just give things, but who gives himself, who leads not with ego, but with presence, who changes the room not by volume, but by depth. That kind of man is powerful. That kind of man is magnetic. That kind of man is rare. Be that man. And everything else follows. Emotional safety. 2 words that sound soft, but hold the power to make or break the deepest connections. You see, a woman doesn't open her heart to a man because he's strong, rich, or attractive. She opens when she feels safe. Not physically safe, although that matters too, but emotionally safe. And in today's world, that kind of safety is rare. Most people don't even feel safe in their own skin, let alone in a relationship. So when a woman meets a man who can hold space for her emotions, her truth, her vulnerability without flinching, without judging, without trying to fix her, something deep awakens in her. She relaxes, she lets go, she begins to trust. Emotional safety is not some optional bonus in a relationship. It's the foundation. It's the air love breathes. And without it, everything else suffocates. Let's go deeper. What does emotional safety actually look like? It looks like her being able to say what's really on her mind without you getting defensive. It looks like her sharing her fears, her insecurities, her triggers, and instead of being told to get over it, she's met with patience and compassion. It's the experience of knowing that her emotions, even the messy ones, won't scare you away, that she won't be punished for having a bad day, that she doesn't have to shrink herself to keep you comfortable. Emotional safety is knowing she can bring her whole self to the relationship, not just the shiny, pretty parts. It's knowing she won't be mocked, dismissed, manipulated, or made to feel crazy for being human. Can you offer her that? Can you be the calm in her storm, not by controlling her weather, but by not abandoning her when it rains? Here's the hard truth. Most men were never taught how to create emotional safety. We were raised to suppress emotions, to value strength over softness, to fix problems instead of feel pain. So when a woman expresses her emotional truth, it often feels threatening. It triggers a part of us that wants to shut it down, to escape, to silence, to dominate. But a man who has done his inner work, who has confronted his own discomfort with vulnerability, becomes a fortress, not of stone but of warmth. He doesn't flinch when she cries. He doesn't react with ego when she shares a need. He doesn't punish her for being honest. Instead, he leans in. He stays steady. He listens. And through that presence, he creates a space where trust can grow. You might be thinking, so I just let her feel everything and say nothing. No, creating emotional safety doesn't mean being passive. It means being grounded. It means knowing the difference between reacting and responding. It means being aware of your tone, your body language, your energy. It means understanding that women often speak in emotions, not just facts. That when she says, I feel like you don't care, she's not always accusing. You're hearing her pain. Emotional safety means you listen to understand, not to win. You don't gaslight. You don't turn the tables. You don't make it about you. You create a pause between her truth and your response. And in that pause, you choose empathy over ego. That is emotional maturity. That is masculine leadership. Let's be honest. A lot of men are scared of women's emotions. Not because women are irrational, but because those emotions reflect things inside us we haven't faced. Her sadness may remind you of your own grief. Her anger may trigger your fear of failure. Her vulnerability may highlight your own emotional numbness. So instead of facing those emotions, we shut them down in her. We say, you're overreacting. Don't be so emotional. Why can't you just relax? But what we're really saying is, I can't hold what you're feeling because I haven't learned to hold what I'm feeling. That's why emotional safety starts with you. You must be emotionally safe within yourself before you can offer that safety to someone else. Think of it this way, emotional safety is like a house. If the walls are solid, if the doors are open, if the foundation is strong, she'll feel at home. But if the house is full of cracks, if the furniture is constantly being thrown around, if every time she steps inside she's unsure what version of you she's going to get, she won't stay. She might physically be there, but emotionally she'll shut down. She'll walk on eggshells. She'll start editing herself to avoid conflict. And eventually she'll leave. Not because she didn't love you, but because she couldn't breathe around you. Love cannot grow in fear. It cannot deepen in chaos. It needs stillness. It needs safety. And here's what emotional safety is not. It's not agreeing with her every word. It's not being a pushover. It's not abandoning your truth to avoid a fight. Emotional safety isn't about weakness. It's about strength. The kind of strength that can sit in silence when needed. That can admit when it's wrong. That can hold boundaries without cruelty. That can hear hard truths without shutting down. A man who provides emotional safety doesn't need to be perfect. He needs to be present. He needs to be real. Women don't want flawless. They want consistent. They want honest. They want to know that even when things get hard, you won't disappear into anger, avoidance, or pride. So how do you create emotional safety in practical terms? Start with listening. Really listening. Not just with your ears, but with your full presence. Listen without planning your defense, without interrupting, without fixing. Let her complete her sentences. Reflect back what she says so she knows you heard her. Ask questions that show you care about her experience. Next, watch your reactions. When she opens up, check your body language. Are you clenching your jaw, crossing your arms, rolling your eyes? That matters. She's watching. She's learning whether it's safe to tell you the truth. Respond calmly. If you feel triggered, take a breath, pause. Let her know you're trying to understand, even if it's hard. Be accountable. When you mess up, and you will own it. Don't gaslight. Don't justify. Don't say, you're too sensitive. Say, I hear you. I didn't mean to hurt you, but I understand how it came across. I'll do better. That humility builds trust. That kind of ownership creates safety. And finally, regulate your emotions. Your anger, your impatience, your fear. If you can't manage your own emotions, you'll never be able to hold space for hers. Practice emotional regulation through mindfulness, breathwork, journaling, therapy, whatever it takes. Because the more peace you cultivate inside, the more peace you radiate outside. Now understand this. When a woman feels emotionally safe with you, she gives you access to parts of her no one else sees. Her softness, her passion, her loyalty, her sensuality, her deepest truth. When she feels safe, she opens. Emotionally, physically, spiritually. But when she feels unsafe, she protects herself. She withdraws, she questions, she guards her heart. So the question becomes, do you want her armor or do you want her essence? Because you won't get both. If she has to constantly protect herself around you, you'll never see who she really is. You'll just get fragments, masks, performances. But if you become the kind of man who can hold space for her whole self, you won't just have her attention. You'll have her trust, her respect, her devotion. This isn't about being her therapist. It's not about fixing her. It's about witnessing her, holding her, meeting her with compassion, not control. And yes, that takes work. That takes emotional intelligence. That takes strength most men haven't been taught. But if you're willing to learn, if you're willing to grow into the kind of man who can make a woman feel emotionally safe, you will be rare. You will be unforgettable. Because most women aren't asking for a savior. They're asking for a sanctuary, a place where they can come home, not just to you, but to themselves. And when you become that place, everything changes. So ask yourself, can she come to you with her truth? Can she cry in your arms without shame? Can she tell you what hurts without you turning it into an attack? Can she be real with you without fearing rejection? If the answer is no, you've got work to do. But if the answer is yes, if you are that man, you are offering something deeper than love. You are offering freedom. You are saying, you don't have to be perfect here. You don't have to hide. You are safe with me. And in return, she will give you something no performance, no manipulation, no tactic can ever get you: her full heart, her full trust, her full presence. That's emotional safety. That's the secret. That's the path. Be that man. She's not asking for the world. She's asking for a space where her soul can breathe. Give her that, and you will never have to chase love again. Consistency. It sounds simple, even boring. But in love, in trust, in emotional connection, it is everything. Without consistency, love becomes confusion. Without consistency, words become noise. And without consistency, no matter how strong the initial spark is, it will eventually fade. Because what a woman needs, what any human needs in a meaningful relationship, is not just promises or potential, it's proof. She needs to feel that your intentions today will match your actions tomorrow. That when you say you'll be there, you show up. That when you look her in the eye and say you matter, you mean it not just in the moment, but in the mornings when she's tired, in the nights when she's distant, and in the seasons when life gets hard. You see, consistency is the rhythm of reliability. It's what separates temporary infatuation from lasting love. Anyone can be amazing for a weekend. Anyone can be attentive during the good times. Anyone can say the right thing when things are easy. But what happens when stress hits? When moods shift? When routines get stale? When temptation knocks? Consistency is the ability to remain aligned with your values and commitments. Not once, but over and over again. And that, for a woman, is one of the most attractive and emotionally secure things you can offer. Because consistency builds the one thing that love cannot live without: trust. Let's break something down. Being consistent does not mean being robotic. It doesn't mean repeating the same exact words every day or following some rigid emotional schedule. It means showing up in a way that is emotionally dependable. That she doesn't have to guess who you're going to be today. That your love isn't a mood swing. That your attention isn't a gamble, that your loyalty isn't based on convenience. When you're consistent, she doesn't have to question whether you're in or out. She doesn't have to become a detective looking for signs of your commitment. She feels it. She knows it. And that certainty allows her to relax into the relationship. Because love doesn't grow in tension. It grows in safety. And safety is created through consistent presence, consistent effort, and consistent integrity. A lot of men start strong. In the beginning, they do everything. They plan dates, send sweet texts, listen deeply, show passion. But over time, the effort fades, the calls get shorter, the dates get less intentional, the attention becomes divided, and what once felt like devotion now feels like duty. And she starts to wonder, was it real? Was it ever genuine? Or was it just a phase? That question, that doubt, is the crack where insecurity enters. And if you're not careful, that crack becomes a canyon. You don't lose a woman because you changed overnight. You lose her because the small inconsistencies told her little by little that she can't count on the love that once felt safe. Understand this. Women remember patterns more than promises. You can say, I love you, every day. But if your behavior doesn't reflect that love, the words become hollow. You can promise her a future, but if you don't invest in the present, she won't feel secure. You can swear loyalty, but if your attention constantly drifts toward your phone, your work, or other women, your words won't matter. Because consistency isn't measured in what you say during the highs. It's measured in how you act during the lows. Can she count on you to still be kind when she's not being perfect? Can she trust that you'll still care when she's not easy to love that day? Can she feel that your love isn't just a reaction to how she makes you feel, but a reflection of who you choose to be? There's another side to this. Consistency doesn't mean constant access. It doesn't mean sacrificing your boundaries or becoming emotionally codependent. You're allowed to have space. You're allowed to say no. But even in your boundaries, you can be consistent. You can say, I need time to myself today, but I still care about you, and we'll talk later. That's consistency. You can be upset about something, but still express it in a way that's grounded and loving. That's consistency. You can be busy, but still send a message that lets her know she matters. That's consistency. It's not about being perfect. It's about being reliable, predictable in your kindness, steady in your emotional presence, honest in your expression. That's what builds trust. Now let's talk about why consistency is so difficult for some men. It's because they confuse intensity with commitment. In the beginning they go all in. They love bomb. They overwhelm with affection. They make big gestures. But intensity is short-lived. It burns hot and fast. It's not sustainable. And when the high wears off, when the real work of relationship begins, they retreat. They lose interest. They stop trying. But what women want is not just intensity. They want intentionality. And intentional love is consistent love. It's not about how much you feel in a moment. It's about how deeply you commit over time. Consistency also requires self-awareness. You have to know your own emotional landscape. You have to be honest about your capacity. If you're not consistent with yourself, you won't be consistent with anyone else. If you say you wake up early to work on your goals, and you keep hitting snooze, that lack of discipline affects more than your productivity. It spills into your relationships. Because a man who doesn't keep promises to himself will eventually break them with others. So the path to consistency starts with integrity, with honoring your word, with doing what you say you'll do, even when no one's watching. Especially when no one's watching. You may not realize this, but consistency is a form of emotional leadership. In any relationship, someone sets the emotional tone. If you're moody, reactive, hot and cold, guess what? You create instability. But if you're calm, emotionally available and grounded, even when life is messy, you create a container of trust. And in that container, a woman can bring her full self. Because she knows the ground beneath her is solid. Because she knows your love doesn't evaporate under pressure. That's what makes you different. Not how loud you love her, but how steady you love her. And consistency isn't just about your actions toward her. It's how you treat everyone. Are you kind to people who can't offer you anything? Are you the same man when no